very invest.
No, I like that approach. It's definitely something I'm looking at here in Georgia too. I mean, to be able to get these tyrants out of our states, and I mean, just really remove the administration. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but we have administrators that are making damn near $1 million in the state of Georgia, and you're like, this adds nothing to the education of a child in 2021. And this is the most archaic system in the world.
Absolutely, and we have issues too where we need to have our school districts kind of combined. So we have a situation in southern Oklahoma, for example. So I live in Edmond, and our population is right around 90,000 or so. Okay, and we have one school district. You know, we have multiple high schools and stuff like that, but we have one school district. Then you go into southern Oklahoma in the Ardmore area, which I lived in for about 5 years, and the town of Ardmore itself is about 20,000. It has two separate school districts, the haves and the have-nots. Okay. Then you have all of these little tiny towns that are super close. And I'm talking 5 to 10 minute drive max, you know, Dixon, Wilson, Hilton, all of those together are the same population as Edmond. And they have 7 school districts.
Wow.
Between those towns, and multiple of those school districts, the superintendents make over 6 figures. And it's like, hello, like, no wonder we can't pay our teachers enough or give our students enough resources, because the money's getting sucked up from the top before it even reaches the schools.
Yeah, I think it's just a systemic problem everywhere, and it's just, I mean, sign of the times how out of touch the entire quote unquote education system is. You know, youth indoctrination program, I think, is probably the best term for it. But let's get into some current events with mandates, vaccines, masks, you name it, the whole shebang here. What's going on with, you know, that in Oklahoma, and really what do you hope to push during your run?
Right. So to answer the first part of that question, so we have been not as affected as some states. So we were only, like, from a state closed down during that epic 2-week, curve everything.
That 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah. Here we are, you know, a year and a half later. But that was the only time that we were as a state closed. So individual towns and stuff, they made the decisions to have mask mandates and stuff like that. But everything on that portion was pretty localized done. So gyms and all those kinds of things, for the most part, were really only closed during that small window. Was unfortunate, because it's still, even just those 2 weeks or so, you know, it caused quite a few businesses to not be able to reopen because they lost their employees, because their employees are like, well, I got to go find somewhere else to work, you know, then they couldn't get employees back. Then you run into situations where Governor Stitt he did put in place a couple of things that just didn't even make sense. So he told the bars that they were not allowed to be open past 11 o'clock at night. And we were like, yeah, because you can get COVID easier after 11, apparently, you know?
So arbitrary.
Like the couple of things he did mandate just did not make sense. They were ridiculous. Right. And so from that point on, you know, we opened things back up fairly early. We have huge, because we're a fairly red state, and typically the more red state, the more anti-mandate and vaccine. And so we have some very active groups, like there's Oklahomans for Health and Parental Rights, which is a huge activist group here that I donate to and I'm part of. And they made waves anytime somebody tried to mandate anything. And so they, like the hospitals and different people, would be like, we're going to mandate this. Just kidding. You know, we still have some issues, but we were able to enact a bill to where schools were not allowed to mandate that children be vaccinated or wear masks. And so that was a move in the correct direction. You know, they were optional. Like, you're obviously, like, if you're concerned, yes, your child is welcome to, but they were not requiring, or they were not allowed to mandate it. Then some of that backed off a little bit. There were some attorneys that were able to find a loophole to allow them to mandate it, but they allowed a situation where a parent could sign off that, no, my child is not required to wear a mask, and have an exemption. And then they also had the situation where, honestly, like my child's school, for example, it's required, but the school chooses not to participate. And so the kids wear them or they don't. It's kind of up to the children and the teachers, you know. And then from that point, the only thing that's been super recent that people are like running down with their pitchforks about is the Oklahoma City Thunder, which is our only like which is our only, national team, and that we love so much, came out and said that if you can't come to the games unless you're vaccinated or you've had a negative COVID test within 3 days. And everybody, including myself, is pretty upset about that, because I love going to Thunder games, but I'm not going to go get tested, every week to go see a game. And,
nope.
Granted, I am vaccinated because I'm a cancer survivor and I made that choice, but my husband in it, because he decided that he didn't want to go that route, and he has that right. So I can't go with my husband to a Thunder game unless
wait a second. Somebody who's vaccinated says that you have the right not to get vaccinated. Amazing.
Yes. I know, it's crazy.